up?
Alright, I guess we can start. Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are or where you live. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Today we're doing a little bit of something different. Minecraft Origin Realms doesn't seem to be wanting to work with me, so we're going to have to improvise. And I actually found a video by Royalty is Here, the same guy who did the video on VR chat. So I thought, hey, that would be a fun video to watch. So we're gonna do that today, and I'm gonna set up my phone. Where is my phone set up? Okay, there we go. So I can see the... Why is it whenever I do stream stuff, my phone is almost always dead? It's not always dead, it's almost dead. It's at 32%. I haven't touched my phone in like 6 hours, and it's already almost dead. I'm gonna set it to low power mode, and I'm gonna set it to where I can read chat, just in case people are seeing things. Hello, people. Hello, lovely, gorgeous people who are joining this lovely little stream. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, or whatever time it is for you. I am going to try to stream this video. I am hoping I don't get demonetized, but hey, if I do, I'm going to be in severe denial, as this is my only source of income. Okay, anyway, let's get started, shall we? Alright, gonna set this up. Gonna turn that off, and we're gonna, and like I said, the same guy who did the video on the furries, so prepare for more trauma bonding, not trauma, like, prepare to be more cringed, because I like watching myself. I think that's the thing that sells, is everybody likes to watch VTubers, including myself, suffer in chat. Alright, I'm gonna make my VTuber model slightly bigger because I feel like I am very small. Why did I move my boy mushroom? There we go. Alright. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
Furries. Yes, furries, not fairies. I know with my hereditary speech impediment that comes with the buff of being British, it sounds like I'm talking about the incredible-looking things with wings, but no, I'm talking about the Lola Bunny liking, Beastars watching, and apparently oil tycoons, with how most of them can afford some of the equipment for this hobby, like the fursuits, which
The video's on the little quiet set. Oh, sorry. Okay, give me a sec. I have to adjust my audio on my end because I am very sensitive to loud noises. There we go.
For the poor.
Alright, let's rewind. And we're going to boost up this. There we go. Okay. Take, 2.
So, furries. Yes, furries, not fairies. I know with my hereditary speech impediment that comes with the buff of being British, it sounds like I'm talking about the Tinkerbell-looking things with wings, but no, I'm talking about the Lola Bunny liking, Beastars watching, and apparently oil type.
I should mention something. I actually watched Beastars. I never finished it. It's not a bad watch, I'll say that much. If you like an anime with a little bit of a good mystery and horror side, it's oh god. I'm on a watch streak. Nice. Alright. Anyways, Beastar is pretty good. I recommend. It's actually a really decent anime. And I like the fact that it's 3D animated. As someone who actually enjoys the works of the same studio, Hisaki no Kuni is... I love that anime. I'm still pissed off. There's no season 2 and it just seemed to disappear off the face of the earth. Anyways. Also kind of caught me mid-game mood.
Coons, with how most of them can afford some of the equipment for this hobby, like the fursuits, which are just thousands for the paws. But yes, furries, I've talked.
And I thought VTuber models were expensive. For anyone who doesn't know the price of a VTuber model, I wouldn't know per se, due to the fact that I actually made and rigged and bought, or actually I made all of my equipment and stuff, like my model, my rig, everything. I've made it by hand. If you're curious, look up the prices for VTuber models and rigs. They can reach the level, they can be very, very expensive. I'll just say that much.
Talked about them a lot on this channel. Not as much as maybe other things like VR chat, VTubers, or the random topics I find to make into videos, but I've made at least 2 videos on the topic and made a few offhand comments, like how I didn't know the Odd Ones Out was a fairy, and the fact you may be in contact with someone that is a fairy, you just don't know it yet, especially if they're in...
Okay, one more thing and then I'll stop pausing for a little bit. I don't consider myself a furry. My sister spent 30 grand on a furry head. You know what? I think the VTuber models are not that expensive now. Ignore me. I will say this. I'm not a furry. I'm actually more of a feathery person. I actually had a Ducksona because I'm a huge fan of DuckTales. I'm a big DuckTales fan, especially 2017. Really like 2017 DuckTales. But I'll say this. I'm not a furry. I am a feathery, so I'll be honest. So, and I mean, back in my excuse me. Hey, you know what? If you're a hardworking person, you're paying bills, you're doing your own thing, and you just have the money you want to spend, hey, I don't care. You know what? I'm gonna backtrack that because 30 grand actually sounds like a lot of money. Okay, continuing.
The army, an IT-related job, or have any remote interest in games like Team Fortress 2. Hey, I don't make the rules.
And then, oh fuck.
And no, I am not a fairy for the final fucking time. Not even my 3D avatar is fairy-inspired. It's more of a reference to Hotline Miami, if anything. And my profile picture is a cute bird I found in my wall. And knowing the lifespan of birds and why I assume is a great tit, it is probably dead. Anyway, disclaimer to the side, ever since my first video on fairies, I think almost 2 years ago now, I don't think much has changed about the community. They still have somewhat of a negative reputation surrounding...
Is that a freaking hell diver holding a furry head? It looks like a hell diver. have finally been subsided. We gotta find something else to discriminate.
Surrounding them to the point where if you are not remotely involved
Honestly,
in the
not
community
surprising.
at all, you don't go to the conventions, you don't even own a fursuit, you don't even know what your fursona is yet, you just watched Zootopia once and it made you feel a certain type of way, but you still
ODST holding a fur. Oh, my bad.
identify under the title of furry, and if you ever mention such in a social setting, most people will treat you as if you had just admitted you were a scientist for Unit 731 during World War II and charged with intentional indecent exposure. Those two things are admitting you're a Nikkei 30 fan in 2025.
I could visit anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Taylor Swift's bathroom.
What do you mean by that?
And the main reason people have this reaction is either due to some fairies that are
I remember seeing that. I was doing some, like, work for my streaming. I remember I logged in on this day and saw this, and I remember every other VTuber who was, like, they were talking about it for a hot minute. Like, it was, like, all over the Freak's Gonna Freak. Nick Fella apparently, I never heard of him, so I wouldn't know. But I remember people were talking about this, and I was just sitting there like, man, they're allowing diaper furs on the front page, yet I'm sitting here. What am I not doing? Do I need to just, like, make my model a furry child or a furry baby and then, like, go live? I mean, if I wanted to do that, I'm asking myself the same question. Honestly, if I wanted to, I would put, like, a webcam at my freaking rabbit and have that stream and just see how many viewers I get. Just get me to 30 viewers and I'll do it. I'll put a camera in my rabbit's face and we will do a stream on that.
a lot more vocal about their hobby, to the point where it's their entire identity and everyone must know, or people confuse them with Therians, which is a completely different ballpark. That's people actually acting like animals. Or more recently, you have the fairies in those VR chat trolling videos taking on the mantle of destroying the reputation of fairies themselves.
FIB, Special Agent, Sleeper Agent,
What's an FIB?
FBI.
Oh, you're a liar.
A liar. A liar.
I'm gonna sue you for that.
Sue you and sue my fucking family, and my family will be dead.
No, I'm not kidding. The last time I let out my anger, a lot of people fucking died. All I remember was seeing 5 to 10 dudes, and then everything just goes black.
Why do they always have the same way of speaking or the same inflection to their voice? It's like a VR chat accent at this point. And probably the most prominent reason people hate fairies is due to the more infamous fairies. The ones where everyone else in the community absolutely detests.
I also remember this person in particular. She admitted to liking animals. I'll let your mind figure the rest of that out because I don't feel like getting demonetized today.
Tests them, and they vehemently claim they are not a part of the community and do not represent.
Did you know yesterday, December 7, 1940... Were you hacked? Because something about that doesn't feel right, unless you're just trying to distract us from the horrors that is this video. If so, please continue. But that is some interesting information. As someone who's a bit of a World War II fan, or not fit. I'm never gonna recover from that. Hee my account now. But as someone who likes to study the history of World War II and just I don't know why. That's actually really interesting.
present them in any way. Yet people outside of the community only ever see these infamous characters, probably because of the crimes they commit, often assisting in boosting their story outside of the community, where a normal person will
Maybe I
see
should
this
watch
and
this
use them
after
as a
eating
base
pizza.
example of what all fairies are like, which is probably the equivalent of saying the Sonic fandom is the worst, and using Chris Chan as an example of your average Sonic fan. Just a little side note, I recently saw a video of him shotgunning a glass of his own offspring mixed with Fanta on Instagram Reels, and it completely ruined my day. Just thought you should know. But hey,
Oddly enough, I've heard stories of that. I'm not going to go into detail, but let's just say I'm scarred as well. Look, I'm not a hardcore Sonic fan. I mean, I do have my Sonic OC button, but honestly, that was because I was binge watching the Sonic movies after my pet Pinecone died, so I was kind of using that as a coping mechanism, and I created my little boy as a girl rabbit in the Sonic world, but I think my day's been ruined as well.
admittedly, I used to view fairies the same way. I used to think a few years ago all of them were complete weirdos, until I met a few without knowing and they were just normal and pretty chill. And the only reason I found out weeks later they were fairies was because one of them had the fox from the movie Bad Guys as their PC home screen, which was the only downside of associating with them, having to see that every time they shared their screen for a project. But their reputation is slowly changing. Some people would rather associate with a fairy more than your average VTuber now.
I would never thought in a world I'd be saying this too, by the way. I think I'd rather kick it with a furry than a VTuber.
Well, honestly, after all the drama and shenanigans that the VTuber community is, the furries are the nerdy kids of like, if I were to put it as like back in like the 90s of or the early 2000s schooling years, the furries were the nerdy kid. Too many are pretty bad. Yeah, I would say this: if Twitch and streaming was like a school, the furries would be the nerdy kids. And the VTubers would just be the gossip class, like the gossipers, like the plastics and the Heathers of the Twitch industry. Meanwhile, the furries are kind of the nerds, kind of just the oddballs that will do anything for their waifu, but but they still don't get any friends. Either way, both parties are friendless. I'll just say that much.
Furries are unironically not even that bad.
But today I thought we would talk about some infamous fairies that actually do deserve the reputation they have, primarily because recently I landed myself on the fairy side of Instagram Reels.
Did you know in WW2 there was a B-17 that piggyback rode another B-17? Interesting.
I do hope my algorithm returns to alternative live
One was called Ricky Tikky Tavi. Nice.
leak footage. But I was served the video by the user Peebster going into the most infamous fairies, and I thought I would completely copy and take the idea and go into more detail. So thank you, Peebster. I hope you keep horrifying your elderly father with details about the fairy community. But anyway, who are these fairies that are actual degenerates?
I've already sort of desensitized my dad into me being a VTuber. I could never imagine terrifying my parents about my career online. I mean, my father, he does TikTok as well. Mainly just, he's an ex-pastor, and he just kind of likes spreading the word of God, and you know what? Good on him. You know, I, as a religious person myself, good for him. Spreading the word, spreading the gospel, that's what we Christians are supposed to do. But he follows me on TikTok, and he sees all of my TikTok shenanigans, and I'm sitting here like, yeah, Dad, that's me. Okay, I don't know where I was going with this.
Or straight up criminals.
What kind of prank would that be? It's not a prank. A prank is it's designed to get some sort of a humor out of it.
Probably one of the more tame entries on this list is Magnus Deridian, or Robert Michael Soikowski, a 53-year-old fairy that joined the community in 2003. And I did say this is the tamest fairy on the list, but the things he's done and been accused of are anything.
Yes, Father, my name is Fluffing, and I wear a wolf head. Haku, I'm giving you 20 seconds to delete that before I turn you into pudding. I don't know what kind of freaking this sounds like, Haku. Gosh dang it. Haku, you have 20 seconds to delete that.
But, so yeah, that's how bad this video is going to get. But to give you a quick rundown of some of the allegations against him, Magnus was a prime suspect in the fairy chlorine gas attack in 2014, which I talked about in a previous video.
I'm sorry, repeat that?
To give you a quick rundown of some of the allegations against him, Magnus was a prime suspect in the fairy chlorine gas attack in 2014, which I talked about in a previous video, where concentrated chlorine...
Hi, V. Welcome to the chat. We're watching, something about furries. Is this my... Yes, we're watching, the most disturbing furries by, Simply Not Royalty. Oh, shoot, yeah. Welcome to this chaotic shit show. What am I getting myself involved in? He pinned it, lol. What? Haku! Thank you for the head pat, V. Welcome to the chaos. Base cheap pats.
Powder was reported to be intentionally released at the convention center, hospitalizing 19 attendees and forcing the convention center to be evacuated, with fire services and a hazmat team being called to the scene. And 3 days after the event, Magnus's house was raided by the FBI, which he confirmed in a later interview.
When did the FBI first come to you? Was it straight afterwards?
I do.
About 3 days later, they knocked on the door, and I was like, wondering, who are these people?
And then they came again when later on? Was that...
Well, at first I wouldn't let him search the place because, like,
I knew I should have just stuck with the Bible study today. And did my camera actually cut?
He was also interviewed multiple times by the FBI, with his alibi being he was in the room with his roommate at the time when the alarms to evacuate sounded, but the roommate, when interviewed, denied these claims and said they went with him at the time. And this was told to the people investigating the case at the time.
Here's the thing. Sean kind of brought it up before about the truth and stuff. So when you're talking to the FBI, lying to the FBI is actually charging in itself. So I'm asking you if you had any knowledge. No, I had no knowledge. So I idea what's going on. I asked all the questions. I swear I had nothing to do. You had nothing to do.
And the FBI didn't push him any further. They did another interview years later, but ultimately it seems they stopped pursuing him. Even though apparently at the time he did have access to chemicals such as chlorine.
Hold on, I'm gonna do something. My neighbor's dog is barking. I'm gonna close my window real quick. Give me a sec. Twitch thinks I still speak Spanish. Oof, that's gotta be rough.
Because it said he was working as a lifeguard at the time, but he denies the allegations to this day.
Well, whatever happened there, if there were cameras there, they would have seen it. And that's why I was curious why they came to me, because I was somewhere else.
And even to this day, nobody has been caught for this incident after all these years, so it's impossible to tell right now if it was Magnus. However,
I would have to agree, like, on something. Like, if someone was going to do that to a convention, why would someone... You know what? I don't know. I wouldn't know, so I can't really say.
This apparently isn't the first time he was accused of things on this level, because he has a loaded criminal past, from disorderly conduct to terroristic threats, which refers to an apparent prank he did in the early 2000s, where he went into a bank, placed a device on the front desk, walked away and said device released something akin to smoke, of which the result was a pregnant woman being rushed to hospital, the fire department and a hazmat team being called in, and him apparently being very mad that they raised it from a terroristic threat charge to a felony, and with doing so they got a...
How? Oh my god, I should have just decided, you know what? Today we're gonna do a Bible study. And my rig got thrown off because of the white. How do you end up just saying to yourself, let's put something in a bank, have it light off smoke, and call it a prank? A prank is literally putting a banana on someone's desk just to confuse the heck out of them, not something leading to hospitalizations. Can we go back to the... What the hell? Oh my gosh.
warrant to raid his house. And he was very mad, mainly because the supposed device was a stink bomb that he specifies did not release smoke. And he did all of this because they charged him an overdraft.
I love the hold on. I think my VTuber rig got, like, scuffed. Hang on. I'm going to set it to be right back and see if I can reconnect it. I think my models... There we go. Okay, fixed it. There we go. I love the dynamic of an angel queuing up some demonic content to view for stream. Well, I'm sorry, this seemed interesting to me and it caught my eye as someone who I wouldn't say like I said, I'm a feathery at heart. I used to be a furry back in middle school. I had a little cat, Sona, and I drew her for like a few months and then stopped altogether, mainly because of an artist I looked up to. But hey, that's just me.
Fee. Yes, he got multiple charges because he got mad at an overdraft fee. He apparently went to prison for 8 months and pled guilty to his previous charge of disorderly conduct, which he didn't want to get too into. But all of this information is available from a message he apparently posted on a furry message board in 2005, because it was normal 2 decades ago to go into depth about your crimes, describing it in a way where you...
We need to talk after stream, hun. Oh no, what did I do?
Didn't do anything wrong. That was just an intro to Magnus, by the way. We still have a bit to go through. So Magnus has a lot of fursuits, around about 13 or more, and he even previously had his own company making them. But there are a few of his fursuits that are more infamous, to say the least. In 2015, he would attend a con called Midwest Fur Fest, and he would attend the con in what seemed to be a fursuit inspired by the Confederate flag. A flag that some say has the connotations of things like slavery and racism, while some say it represents Southern pride. He also came equipped with a sign endorsing Donald Trump, which was around when Trump was running for office for the first time, and there was a heated debate within the country leading up to the election. The name of the fursuit was Arkansas, and at the same con he would be detained by security and banned from attending the con till 2017 for apparently his own safety. After his ban, he would attend a different con called AnthroCon in 2017, and he would attend in the same fursuit, attempting to hide the flag under a white sheet, but this time he wasn't banned for the fursuit. Instead he was just reprimanded and told not to wear it again, but he would eventually be banned again for not paying his 2017 membership fee, and was told not to return till he did pay the said membership.
I am slightly, confused, concerned, distressed. I'm right now sitting here processing, and yes, Haku, I've been trying to convince him to get a model, and I keep telling him, hey, I'll make your model, and nothing yet. need to work on my rig. This isn't as bad as I thought.
Actually didn't know you had to
Oh.
pay a subscription fee for these cons, but the more you know, I guess. Another reason why being a furry is an expensive hobby. However, Magnus's
And I
FurCon
thought
shenanigans
VTubing was
didn't
an
end
expensive
there,
hobby.
as once his ban from Midwest Fur Fest expired in the same year as his previous stunt in 2017, he would attend again, one without membership and two with a completely different fursuit. A fursuit that was relatively normal except for it being equipped with a World War I German helmet, modified with a fairy logo, which I don't think would have got him banned by
I don't know if I want to debut my face to the internet. How I want to debut my face to the internet.
default, but the thing that definitely did get him banned was reciting a certain phrase that would often be accompanied by a salute during World War II.
Oh no!
Associated with a not-so-nice German party at the time. When staff heard about this and caught on to who he was, he would be asked to leave and soon taken into custody by the police, where there was apparently a picture of such event, where he had to completely take off his fursuit and get in the back of a police car. I always thought people wore something under their fursuit, but I was
I'll never understand people who can, like, go to, like... Hell, I know one thing, as a cosplayer, I actually do cosplay as like a side hobby. Like, I actually am wanting to get more cosplays. But how can you honestly I would consider furries are lucky because of the fact that they could probably put something on over under their fursuit, and if they get, like, kind of tired or overheat in the costume, they can take it off and put it in, like, in a bag and just leave it for a while and be like, walk around like he's probably part of a certain group ending an ending in K. Oh no. I wonder how many times the cops to arrest furries. Anyways, if you're a furry, dress in something, like, whether it's shorts and a t-shirt, something that you could just, like, throw on under the suit. That's what I would say. Because, honestly, as one cosplayer to... Not another, because furries are original. Someone who dresses up to another, you are lucky, because some of the cosplays I have can either be too overcovering or very, very skimpy. Not skimpy, I have, like, I think I have, like, 2 cosplays that are kind of skimpy. I have a Rem and a Dorothy cosplay, and if anybody knows Nikke, Dorothy's pretty skimpy, and Rem is also a little bit, shows a lot of assets, if you know what I mean. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, figure it out. Okay, we're continuing. I don't know where this was going. I'm mad at furries, and if you don't wear something under the fursuit, you're just wasting.
Mistaken. Magnus would create a GoFundMe later on attempting to gather enough money for legal defense, as the staff from the FairCon had pressed charges including trespassing and battery, but the campaign would be taken down shortly after. Another event Magnus is known for is in 2014, where he would attend Anthrocon, allegedly attending with a fursuit that was said to be a bootleg copy of another fairy's fursuit, with the fairy going by the name Lemonade Coyote, who a year prior had unfortunately passed away on EMT duty, and a lot of furries at the time viewed this as disrespectful. There were rumours he did this with other fursuits copying their design, but most rumours don't provide the names of the furries he's copied or provide pictures. So that is Magnus, the first one on the list, and it's only going to get worse. By the way, if
I cosplay from Call. Nice. That is awesome. That's awesome, Mark.
you are curious about Magnus and the chlorine attack, check out Brazen FM's 2024 podcast series called Fair and Loathing, where they got unseen FBI interviews and reports regarding the event, which was actually a really good listen and shows how confusing the investigation performed by the authorities was. But anyway, next fairy.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Carpet
So, a
sample.
step up from the previous example is Carpet Sample, one of the more well-known terrible examples that most fairies and non-fairies resent, and someone I've
I already
briefly
regret
spoken
doing
about
this.
before.
I already wanna-
Now,
I
Carpet
already-
Sample, or Shadow Wolfess, or even William Bill J. Clark, was born on the
course
3rd of
he
March
sounds-
1956, meaning as of this video he would be 69 years old.
I'm supposed to be. I'm a mature adult. I'm mature. I'm a mature adult. Nice. Nice. See, we're supposed to be mature. Raining like crazy. I'm not mature. Yeah, it is raining like crazy outside. I feel bad for the dog outside. She stopped she stopped barking, and I'm like sitting here like, who leaves the dog outside in the rain like that? It's cold. The poor thing. Anyways, nice.
If you laughed at that, you are missing a few neurons. But he was
Hey! I'm not missing a few neurons. I just have an extra. I don't know how to make this how to make this funny without being offensive. If you laughed at that, you're missing a few neurons. No, we're not missing a few neurons. We're just immature as hell here.
He was last active in the fairy community around 2009, when he was around 53 years old, and he has not been seen both online or in public since. Or, at least we know of.
I'm
He
missing
had
a lot.
many aliases, and it is very easy to go incognito in the fairy community. If you just have enough money to get a new fursuit, then GG, you're a new person. Unless they ask for your name when you're paying for your ticket to go to fairy conventions. But Carpet Sample was very well known to just ghost cons, meaning he didn't sign up or pay to attend, and would just show up and apparently sleep in the lobby of the convention after hours because he wouldn't have a room. However, despite his age, Carpet was an inspiring artist. Here's one of his drawings. You know, we all start somewhere. If PewDiePie can turn into a competent artist in just a month with dedication, so can everyone else. It's just that his chosen art subject wasn't things like realism, architecture, or abstract paintings. No, on a post made a decade ago, he would say his artistic passion was drawing YIF art, which in the community means fairies and he also drew art of this, which I think is self-explanatory, but for those of you not so bright, Cub refers to an animal or fairy that is really young, and he was so passionate about his art he would sometimes do commissions for low pay or completely free. However, this is not nearly the most disturbing part about Carpet Sample, as in the same post he admits to being a plushophile, which means he likes having intimate activities with plushies. Yep.
Can we just watch you play something else? I thought my suffering brought you guys comfort. Now, you know what? We just started. We're halfway through this shit. We're going to finish it. I don't care how much suffering we all go through. Besides, like Legends of Arceus. Maybe next stream. I'm dying inside.
Owning an IKEA Blahaj now not only means you're a femboy, but that you must now protect it as they are also at risk of being defiled. But wait, that's not even the worst part. It keeps going. So after being done with his activities with said plushies, and giving them the money shot and cream filling they also did not need, he would skin the plushie and add it to his collection.
Too far down the rabbit hole, I guess. You know, I actually
Said
now
collection
I actually now feel sick. I'm getting hit with splash damage. Do I really want to finish this? Can we just watch He-Man? I just realized that phrase terribly. Okay, I finish this. I already feel like I'm gonna puke from this. We're going to... Okay, if you... Poopa always cleanses. It's not November. We can't. We're going to do something else. We're going... For every time we get to, we're going to look up some Bible verses now to comfort us in this anxiety-induced pain. So let's see, force. Encourage. Bible verse. 2 Corinthians, John 3:17. I have to look this up. Hold on. I'm a bit I'm a bit derpy today. For God does not send his Son to the world to condemn the world, but in order that it might be saved. Nice. I don't know if that's a verse. It's a verse. John said, no ads, no! Thank you, R, for sacrificing your watch time to pay my bills. Do I want to... You know what? We're gonna end the video there. I'm already sick enough as is, and I'm already feeling like I'm gonna heave up junk, and I don't want my stomach to. I just ate, and honestly, I should have. If you want to watch the rest, go check out Royalty is Here's video. I am already on the verge of having a mental breakdown as we speak. When was this? Oh shit! Oh shit! No way! The June Archives and Restoration Project posted a new video. For those who don't know, June Archive is it's an ARG sort of story about the Flipnote studio from the DS, and dude, they just uploaded a new video. Who wants to watch something horror related instead? I guess we'll watch this and then we'll finish stream, because honestly the furry thing is starting to now kind of sit in my stomach and I'm like, ugh. Well, that escalated quickly. Look up John 11:35. Okay. Let's see, what does that say? Jesus weeps after seeing Mary and Martha grieving over the death of their brother, Lazarus. Well, now I'm sad. I'm going to end stream now. But first, we are now going to commit to the new thing. We are now, I'm going to figure this out, going to raid someone. If I can figure out how to do the raids, because I still don't understand, and I'm a bit slow. Alright, let's see, slash... We're going to question. What? Spit it out, please. I'm joking. Take your time. I'm just being mean. Let's see. Who are we gonna raid today? Last stream you didn't say something about VIP. Oh, I'm still working on that. I don't know how to work that. I'm still new to Twitch, so you're gonna have to cut me some slack. So we're going to raid this person right here. Alright. Paste. And It's invalid. Ugh. You're good. I'm just wondering if it removes ads. I don't think it removes ads. I think you have to pay for like the Twitch primo. I'm gonna sneeze, channel. There we go. Ugh! Why is it not working? Unless she has her braids disabled. Ugh. Okay, we're gonna figure this out. Ugh. Alright, here we go. Start raid. Alright. Alright. Have fun, everyone.